Then P1, P2, Pk are elements of F, and Q1, Q2, Qm are elements of the cycle G. We say that cycles F and G are disjoint if the set consists of their elements, that means P1, P2, Pk intersection Q1, Q2, Qm is equal to 5. That means the set consists of them are also disjoint. Then we say that two cycles are disjoint. And now we have a interesting result, that theorem, two disjoint cycles commute. Two disjoint cycles commute. And the proof is, suppose F is equal to P1, P2, Pk, and G is equal to Q1, Q2, and Qm. Suppose I is any element belonging to S. Then there are three possibilities for I. That first possibility, I is equal to sum PL. Second possibility is that I is equal to Qj for sum J. And third possibility, that I is not equal to Pi and I is not equal to Qj for 1 less than I less than or equal to K and 1 less than J less than or equal to M. Now let us take this first possibility, I is equal to PL. Then F composition G PL, because the cycles are disjoint, PL does not belong to the cycle of G, so it remains fixed, and that implies that F into G PL, it is equal to same as F PL, and that is equal to PL plus 1. And if I take G composition F PL, then that is equal to G FPL, that is equal to G PL plus 1. Again, PL plus 1 belongs to the cycle of F, so it does not belong to the cycle of G, so it remains invariant, and so what I get is PL plus 1. Same thing you can say, alright, that means F composition G PL is equal to G composition F PL. Same thing you can, alright, we can verify for I is equal to Qj. Now for the third case, if I is different from PL and I is different from Qj, then what will happen? Then Fi is equal to I and equal to I, because I does not comes in the cycle of F as well as in the cycle of G, so it will remain invariant under both F and G. So Fi is equal to I is equal to Gi, and that gives me that F composition Gi equal to G composition Fi, and that is equal to I. And this shows that two disjoint cycles commute. Now what is the importance of this cycles? They plays a very important role in the study of permutations, and this follows from the main theorem, and theorem is this: a permutation F belonging to Sn can be expressed as a composition of disjoint cycles. That means that I can find out cycle C1, C2 up to Cm. These cycles are disjoint, and F is equal to the cycles, composition of the cycles C1, C2 and Cm. Since we know that any two disjoint cycles commute, this will not be a unique representation. This reminds just about the natural numbers and primes. every integer n greater than 1 can be expressed as a product of prime in a unique way. Alright, and we say that primes are building blocks for the natural numbers. Here what we can say similar way, that cycles becomes the building block for permutation group. Now the proof is, we are not going to give the proof, but we take one example. Alright, this is, let us take that example. I take this example. Suppose f is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. And suppose the corresponding values are 4, 10, 6, 7, 2, 3, 1, 8, 5, 9, 12 and 11. Suppose I take the permutation f belonging to S12 and suppose f is equal to this. Now I want to express this, alright, as a product of disjoint cycles, as a composition of disjoint cycles. Then what I do is I start with the first element 1. Under f 1 goes to 4. Then we see that under f 4 goes to 7 and 7 goes to 1. That means we get one cycle C1 that is equal to 1, 4 and 7. And we can see one thing more, that for the elements of cycles C1, 1, 4, 7, cycle C1 and permutation f, they have the same value. Now we take the next element 2, and what we get is under f 2 goes to 10, 10 goes to 9 and 9 goes to 5 and 5 goes to 2. And that means we get another cycle C2 and that is equal to 2, 10, 9 and 5. Now we take the next element and that is 3. Under f 3 goes to 6 and 6 goes to 3 and so we get the cycle that is transposition 3, 6. Now we go to next element and that comes 8. 8 goes to 8. And so we get C4, only the cycle consists of one element. Now we have only the elements 11 and 12 and we see that under F 11 goes to 12 and 12 goes to 11 and so we get the fifth cycle as 11 and 12. And now we can write down this F as C1 composition C2 composition C3 composition C4 composition C5. One thing more we can observe about this C4. It contains only identity element A, only one element 8, and that means it is an identity mapping. Since it is an identity map, we can remove and we can write down only as this equal to C. F is equal to C1 composition C2 composition C3 composition C5. Or we can write down this in a compact form as C1, C2, C3 and C5 and say that F is a product or composition of 4 cycles C1, C2, C3 and C5. Now, how they are useful? They are useful in one thing, that we can prove that if F is G is any element belonging to Sn, and if G can be expressed as a product of the cycles, suppose C1, C2 and Cm, then we can prove that order of G is equal to LCM of order of the cycle C1, order of the cycle C2 and order of the cycle Cm. Using this part, all of this is, we can find out the order of F. Like what is the order of will be? Order of C1, LCM of order of C1, order of C2, order of C3 and C5, and what we can get is order of F is equal to very easily 12. Okay. Now, one thing more. We saw that the cycle plays very important role, alright, in the study of permutation group. Now, what is about the transposition? For this, let us consider one cycle. Suppose cycle C is equal to P1, P2, P3 and Pk. It is a cycle of length k. Then it is a very easy calculation to write down this as P1 Pk as a composition or product of transposition P1 and P2. That means each cycle C can be expressed as a product of transposition. Now using the result here, we can express this C1, C2, Cm as a product of transposition, and finally that implies G can be also expressed as a product of transposition. So from this we get the theorem. Next theorem is that each permutation F belonging of can be expressed as a product of or composition of transpositions. Now, this representation of a permutation as a product of transposition is not unique. Just you can put identity element and then you can write down that in a different form. For example, suppose I have a F equal to S4 and F is equal to only I am taking 1, 2. Then I can write down this in this way also into IS, and that I can write down as 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 3, 4. I can write down this way also. And since the disjoint cycles commute, I can write down in this form also. This form also. So, the expression for a permutation as a product of transposition is not unique. But there is something more. Alright, this is that I want to say in the form of a theorem. And theorem is this. Suppose permutation F can be expressed as a composition or as a product of R transpositions as well as a product of S transposition, then both R and S are either even or odd. That means if R is even, then S is even, and if R is odd, then S must be also odd. That means if F can be expressed as a product of 5 transposition, that is odd, then any other expression of F as a product of transposition will also contain odd number of transposition. Now this leads us to definition of or classification of permutations. A permutation F belonging to Sn is called even or odd according as any one representation of F as a product of or composition of transpositions contains even or odd number of transpositions. Now, suppose I take two Fn permutation F and G belonging to Sn, and suppose F I can express as a product of P1 Q1, P2 Q2, as a product of M transposition this. And suppose I can express G as product of T transposition then what is about F inverse? F inverse comes out nothing but is equal to Pm Qm into P2 Q2 and P1 Q1. And what is about F composition G? F composition G will come out as in one expression P1 Q1 Pm Qm and then R1 S1 and RT ST. And this shows that if F and G both are even, then M and S are even, and F composition G can be expressed as a product of M plus T transposition. So if both R, M and T are even, then M plus T is also even, and so product of two even transposition is even. Same way,